After a weekend camping trip in the woods with his friends, Tom was convinced something was watching them as they packed up. Tom was on edge until he finally spotted a fuzzy, hulking figure walking through the trees. He was pretty sure it was a bear, but it wasn't behaving like one. It just stood there watching them. "I don't think I can stress enough how big this thing was," Tom said. "It would have dwarfed any grizzly. It was massive. I remember it being on all fours, but even then it was at least my height when standing. It was just an enormous, hulking black thing." He wasn't too sure what he should do. He knew that bears are dangerous. So he decided to wait and watch for a while to see what would happen. The animal began to walk towards them slowly and purposefully. I remember it coming towards us, and my dad said something like, "Oh no. Oh no." I just remember being terrified. The beast approached them standing on 2 feet. This was no black bear. There are lots of scary stories about animals that live in the forest. There are lots of them that are dangerous, but this was no normal animal. It was the Bigfoot, and it was approaching them as they sat around a campfire. Most people who have seen a Bigfoot report that it looks like a person, but it was way taller than a human. Its long arms and body were covered with hair. The hair was reddish-brown in color, and looked like it weighed anywhere between 400 and 500 pounds. Absolutely enormous. These Bigfoot sightings happen all over the United States. At this point, my father ran to me and pulled out his handgun. "Don't worry, son. I'm going to shoot it," he said. All the rest of the adults with firearms pulled out their weapons as well. I knew that he was right about the danger, so I put my hands up and took cover behind my dad. My mother screamed at us to get down, but my father didn't seem worried. He just stood there and stared at the creature. "What should we do?" I asked him. "I'm going to shoot it," he replied. I heard a loud gunshot and the sound of breaking wood. There was no doubt that the monster had been shot. Then suddenly a high-pitched growl, and finally complete silence. Complete utter silence. "Oh, my God!" I exclaimed. I looked around me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was suddenly gone, like a flash. I know that it is not the right thing to do. However, I understand why my father did what he did. He was afraid that something terrible was about to happen. He thought that it might attack my mom or me. So, he was trying to save us. He didn't want to risk losing us, and he was afraid that something terrible might happen. There are times in life when we are forced to make difficult decisions. Sometimes, we are not sure of what to do. The only reason I am telling you about my experience is because it helps me to show you that sometimes the most unexpected things can happen.